Good evening, everyone. Yes, it's your girl, it's your friend, it's your sister. It is Shonda or Alicia. Yes, and I am back. It is Inspired Talk. We are in 2026, and I can say I am so glad to be back with you guys. Thank you for everyone that is tuning in on Inspiration 98.7 Radio as well as Inspiration 98.7 YouTube. Today, I am excited because I get to have an amazing person on my show today. I've been hearing so much about her. Well, I'm just mad that when I was in New Jersey last year for the Power Self Love Retreat, she didn't get to come. But I've been hearing so much amazing things about her and then the work that she is doing in her community. I just had to get her for it to be my first guest on Inspire Talk of the year. So I'm not going to be long. So I'm going to introduce and present to others Miss Francesca Nunez. Hey, Miss Francesca, how you
Hey,
doing on today?
hi. It's an honor to be with you on tonight. The honor is
Yes.
mine.
No, ma'am. The honor is mine. I've been seeing everything that you've been doing, and then listening to your reading your story from what you sent me. I just can't wait to get into some girl talk. So, for the people that don't know who you are and know what you do, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, sure. Thank you. Well, I'm Francisca Nunez. I'm from Patterson, proud to be from Patterson. And my journey just began coming out of domestic, you know,
Mhm.
um, just coming out of domestic violence. And it just opened so many doors to everything I'm doing here in the city of Patterson, to my podcast, to another one that I do once a month with
Mhm.
three amazing women. So we can give a voice to many women
Okay.
to speak up and not be silent. So get ready for tonight because I do a bunch of stuff. So a lot of people know who I am, what I bring to the table.
Mhm.
I consider myself unstoppable.
Okay.
And I just, whatever comes to mind, it's like God implants it and I just go with it. Is
Mhm.
on a faith-based journey that everything I do is come from the heart. And I know if I went through it, many others went through something similar or even more
Mhm.
horrific. And I can just
Mhm.
say by the grace of God, I'm alive because many others are
Amen.
not fortunate.
Amen. So, can you tell us a little bit about your story? Because I know you got an amazing one. If
Oh, do I? Well, you know how when we get married, we dream about the white dress. My concept of
Mhm.
marriage was forever, never
Yeah.
thought of divorce. So that's what embedded in my head. So I married someone, just meeting him 2 months. He
Mhm.
naturally fell in love with me. I liked some of the stuff, his traits, his character. And we
Mhm.
married very quickly. And we
Yeah.
were actually married 17 years. But 6 years in the marriage, it was wonderful. Everything was
Mhm.
flowers. Honey, how you doing? It was never a problem. 6 years after that, he started catching an attitude whenever I asked him anything. And I mean,
Mhm.
when he was coming from work, what a wife does, normally to see how you doing. Um, so there was an incident that I started seeing the patterns was changing. He came very
Mhm.
upset. He cursed at me and told me to lay his food on the
Mm.
table and have it ready when he came out from getting a shower and stuff. So mind you, me and his mom had a very good relationship. So I made sure I made everything he liked it. So that
Mhm.
night I did prepare his food exactly how he likes it. For 6 years, he never complained. Make that make sense.
Right. Right.
So when he came in the kitchen, he looked over to the table and he did not like the meal. And
Mhm.
before you knew it, he slapped me like I felt like my head just spinned around like
Wow.
double times. And the most humiliating thing he did was he threw the food in my face.
Mm.
And it was all over the floor. And he had me like pick it up and make him another meal. And
Wow.
it started escalating from, it started that physical, it started escalating to verbal. Most of
Mhm.
the time he would, slap me and tell me to shut up. And I remember another incident that he came. as usual, very, very upset.
Mhm.
And I try to avoid it, not to entertain it, but it was impossible. And we lived on the second floor. So what he did
Mhm.
was this time he pushed me and I landed all the way down the steps. But
Wow.
in when that happened, the way you're not gonna describe how you're gonna fall, you're just gonna tumble down the stairs. My
Mhm.
ankle broke in three places from the fall. So
Mm.
he called 911. The ambulance came to pick me up. I was in
Mhm.
horrific pain. But the ironic thing in the hospital was they were gonna do surgery. But before they
Mhm.
did the surgery, he came in the room to tell me, "Don't you dare tell anybody what I did to you."
Oh my goodness.
So I had surgery and it put me out of work for a couple of weeks. And I was in
Mhm.
pain, but then it started growing to I started hating him. I started
Mm.
hating him, not loving him because after I healed, he brought me flowers and kept telling me he's not going to do it, that he's sorry.
Mhm.
Some reason inside of me, I didn't believe it. So after I healed, I went back to work. Now it started escalating more where the weekends would come. He went out with his friends. He started drinking and he would come like 3 o'clock in the morning, combative. But this is the part that I tell people that it blew my mind when he did this.
Mhm.
It was one weekend that it was my weekend to work in the nursing home, and he came at 3 o'clock in the morning, stripped the sheets off of me, and proceeded to rape me. Yes.
Wow.
Um, and I was just like, I can't believe this. And I
Mhm.
curled up like a ball and I
Mhm.
started crying. He turned over to me and was like, stop that crying, shut up, go to sleep. And then, mind you, this happened at 3 in the morning. I had to be up at work to go at, 7 o'clock in the
Mhm.
morning. And I'm like,
Yeah.
how am I gonna work with seniors, put a happy face when this just happened to me?
Happened.
And it was
Yeah.
awful the whole day. I felt worthless. I was crying, but I got through the day, got home, was
Mhm.
afraid to go home thinking of, is this going to be the cycle every single day? Is this going to be what
Mhm.
I'm facing? So it was repeated. It
Yeah.
was repeated it. The punches, the black eyes were noticeable. Wintertime, who wears shades? That's all I gotta say. Who wears
Mm.
shades? So he
Right.
saw but didn't say anything. So the marriage actually ended 2014 by the grace of God
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
the last straw was when he tried to kill me in front of my daughter, my 16-year-old
Oh
daughter.
no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, that was the
Oh man.
last straw. And I think whoever was the neighbor that called the police,
Mhm.
that came. But this is the part when I tell people not to judge me. If you look at me, I'm a sweethearted person. I
Right.
don't like
Right.
hurting
Right.
anyone. So,
Mhm.
when my daughter saw that unrailed, she told me to run to the bathroom. I ran in the
Mhm.
bathroom. He was still erratic, saying that, B, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. But while I was in the bathroom, I was thinking, like, my daughter's there. She's 16. He's acting crazy. He has like this big knife. I'm like, I'm supposed to be protecting her. It's not the other way around. So I prayed
Right.
and I was like, God, whatever it is tonight, as long as it's not my daughter, that's it. It is what it is. So when I tell you we serve an amazing God, as I'm walking down the
Yes.
hallway, that doorbell rang. I felt like my daughter's going down the steps and the cops came. But, you know, I ran into the room
Mhm.
and afraid as I was, I put a turtleneck to hide the, bruises. When they came,
Mhm.
they knew something happened because he hid the knife under the tablecloth and he was just sitting there with his
Mm.
head down. And the cops were like, is everything okay? The neighbors called about,
Mhm.
disruption or something, screaming. I said, oh, he's a little drunk, but everything's okay. But they can tell by the look on my face something was
That
wrong.
something's wrong.
So they
Mhm.
were like, "Can we take you somewhere so he can sleep it off?" When it should have been him. Instead of removing
Right.
me and my daughter, it should have been him. So of course I went to my sister-in-law's house. They drove me
Mhm.
there. And she knew immediately what was going on because she saw the bruises and
Mhm.
stuff like that. And we just came in. I told the cops, thank you so much. So I laid my daughter on the sofa and I kept pacing back and forth, like, God, it's been so many years. I went through so much stuff with him. I just
Mhm.
can't do this no more.
Yeah.
So Where I was at, I walked on foot to go
Mhm.
back to the house. I didn't care how many blocks it was, because we're talking about, I think it was like 12 blocks, 13 blocks.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it was 6 in the morning. So when I finally got to the apartment, I approached the room and I said, okay, this can go two ways. He either hurt me again because I'm by
Mhm.
myself, or I can get
Right.
away just telling him to leave. So I tapped him on the shoulder because he was laying in the bedroom. And I said, you got 24 hours to leave. I don't want to be with you. I don't want to live like this. And he just hummed. And I walked
Mhm.
away. The only hurt I feel from this was that when I went back onto my sister-in-law's house, my daughter was not there.
Oh
No.
no.
So when I told her, where is she? She was on the phone with someone. They picked her up. It was a black car. And I'm like, what you mean they picked her up? It was a black car. I left her
Mhm.
here. So I started thinking who she would call at that time in the morning. And it was my brother. I was like,
Mhm.
let me call him. So when I called him, he was like, oh, we already know what happened and she don't want to talk to you. Just let it, be for a couple of days. And I'm very persistent. I said, put her on the phone because I don't want her to think what I'm thinking. And he
Right.
was like, just leave it alone. So in my head, I was like, oh my God, Father God, please don't. My daughter thought that I went back to this individual and I left her.
Right. Right.
So from the whole thing, I lost 3 years of my daughter.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
3 years of my daughter. She didn't speak to me, didn't wanna speak to me, I couldn't explain, my brother didn't do anything to help the situation, and what I proceeded was to go full force with divorce, 2014.
Okay.
I'm glad to say I divorced the individual.
Yeah.
Um, Throughout my journey, I can say it took a whole year to reinvent myself, to, like, love
Mhm.
myself.
Mhm.
And it wasn't an easy process because through
Mhm.
the abuse, he was always saying I was ugly. I wanted to
Mhm.
educate myself. I was too stupid. So that stayed in my mind. And I started thinking that I was stupid,
Mhm.
I was ugly, but I wasn't none of the above until someone
Right.
said, look in the mirror and see. If you see an imperfection, you fix it for you. If you don't
Mhm.
see anything wrong, love yourself. So it took me a whole
Right.
year, and then the process of coming up 2022, I decided to speak out. Though I was
Mhm.
scared, what people were gonna say, what people were gonna
Mhm.
think, that dwelled on me a lot. But I said, you know what? If I came out of it, someone else can come out of it. Someone needs
Mhm.
to speak up. So in
Yeah.
2022, I did a domestic violence awareness. It was very successful.
Mhm.
I did it at a good friend's establishment. And from there on, everything started flourishing. I started speaking
Yeah.
more. I have a
Yeah.
podcast where I educate on all types of views. Like
Mhm.
I said, Women of Faith once a month, women coming together to talk about any type of trauma to help them.
Mhm.
In the community, I just invest to help with the youth, women,
Mhm.
and I also include men. So that's what I do. I give back to what God gave me because He got me out of that situation.
Amen. Amen. So I do have a couple questions because you know what? God is truly amazing because God can use your test as a testimony and truly God can, like you said, God can turn things around. A lot of people
Mhm.
sometimes think that prayers don't work and God don't answer prayers when they want them to be answered. But they have to know that God is ever so faithful. God is ever so faithful,
Okay.
and He won't let you suffer in
Mm-mm.
what you're going through because He didn't put us here to suffer. So that is it amazing. That is amazing. So let me ask you a question. For the people that don't know, what did that year recovery or reinventing yourself, or as I like to call, what was the year of self love process look like?
It was a hard journey because you
Mhm.
do have flashbacks of what was done to you. You do
Mhm.
have the scars, but now I call them my blueprint because that's what's not define me, but that's what's going to help me educate women to know that, I don't look like what I went through, but it is
Mhm.
possible, and not to
Mhm.
stay in a
Mhm.
toxic relationship. But I screamed, I yelled,
Mhm.
um, because you never forget. It's
Yeah.
there, but you never forget, but you do move on and you do come back from it. You just can't
Yeah.
stay stuck. But it took a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And people don't realize that the first step um and first in the first step to the self-love process to me is acceptance.
Hmm.
You first have to accept everything that's going on around you because you have to know, okay, this is what happened, this is what I've been through, this is what I have to do to get through, and this is what I have to do to continue my success. And like you said, you don't look like what you've been through. It is truly amazing because I seen you put that quote in your bio, and I love that because just looking at you, you don't look like you've been through all of that, and like we said, God is so ever faithful because like you said, a lot of people don't know how to leave. What gave you the courage to finally say enough is enough?
One thing is my kids. It was my
Yeah.
daughter. I don't want her to think that's what marriage or love is supposed to be.
Mhm.
Um, because that's not what I think love is supposed to be.
Mhm.
But for her, I wanted it to be different. I wanted her to see that throughout that situation, I got out for the both of us. So that was my breaking point when it came to my daughter. There was no
Mhm.
way I was going to stay with that individual. Not after that. Or I would not be
Yeah.
here today.
Yeah. And that's amazing. I tell everyone, I tell everyone that my kids are my why. My children are my why, even though they're grown now. But everything that I was doing growing up as a parent, my children, my family is my why. Why I keep pushing forward, why I keep doing what I do for myself. Um, I also see here that you are a substance abuse coach and a sex trafficking coach. How did that come about?
Well, in domestic, a lot of people just say they think it's physical and verbal, but I've came to a lot of cases that has been human trafficking because
Mm,
you are sold, and believe it or not, it comes from family. You would not think, no. A
wow.
lot of people would think it's just like from state to state. It happens within the household. The wife could
Mm,
be sold off to the uncle, the friend. I took on a case that it was horrible. She was being abused by all the friends of the husband while he recorded. And I was,
no
yeah,
way.
while he recorded and didn't care. And it was an everyday process that if she didn't do what he said, then he would kill her. So I took on cases like that. And
Hmm.
even the children. So it's very sad. And domestic, not only, like I said, is physical, is verbal. I could have been an addict,
Yeah.
to numb the pain. I could have been an alcoholic, but there's a lot of people that come from this domestic because of the physical abuse. A lot of people can't
Yeah.
really, deal with that. And I sympathize because being repeatedly raped and punched and hit and even had surgery on body parts, it would want to make you drink and be like, I
Yeah.
got to numb it one way or another. But I got to say, God got me out of it. He was my strength because I was like, I don't
Yeah.
need none of that stuff. I'm going to always talk to you. You're going to give me strength. So my faith in him was very, very strong. But a lot
Yeah.
of cases I get come from substance abuse and it leads back to domestic.
Wow. Wow. And it's just amazing how, and I'm still at shock when you say that some of your cases they come from, and not me being naive, it's just you sometimes don't want to like face reality that dang, family really can
Yeah.
hurt you worse than your a stranger on the street would. And it's just real sad. It's just real sad, real sad. So I am grateful that there are people, that are willing to stand up, especially in your community, uh, that are willing to help people and put them on the right path. Now, is there a like, do you have like an office that they can come and see you, or do you do it virtual?
I do it sometimes virtual. I meet up with whoever, referred to me. We go to a public place, but where,
Hmm.
the individual can't come near us because the community always looks out for my safety. I said, listen, I got this. So I meet up with clients at a park, somewhere where the perpetrator can't get to them. They have to
Hmm.
leave the phone and call me from another phone when we meet up, just in case,
Hmm.
because,
Who's
GPS
listening?
trackers.
Yeah. Hmm.
So we meet up and I get them to different resources. I have a lot of nonprofit organizations that I work with.
Hmm.
And not only that we talk, I proceed to help them further, obtaining
Hmm.
restraining orders, filing a complaint, stuff that I
Mm.
didn't, do, not because I didn't want to, is that you can say I was very naive when I got married. I was young. I didn't
Mhm.
know what I was going through. I just knew it wasn't normal. But now that I know and I educated myself, I know the
Mhm.
red flags. Like,
Yeah.
this is not love. So I'm glad I
Yeah.
had a successful way of getting a lot of women and plus men that are coming forward out of toxic relationships.
And people don't believe that men suffer just as much as women. You be like, yeah, I know so and so that was just he a dude, girl. You telling a fib. He a dude. Yeah. There are men that truly believe that they don't put a hand on women, but
Mhm.
that woman will put a hand on them, and it's not just physical. It's the
Yep.
virtual I
Mhm.
mean, the verbal abuse, that is like what's hindering. That's what's getting to a lot of the men because women know you can't really fight a man because he cock strong. But it be the verbal abuse that really gets them, and I don't understand. I don't understand why. If you can do this to your husband, how would you feel if someone did that to your son or
Mhm.
someone did that to your father? So
It's
it's
hard.
just amazing. Yeah. It's just amazing how, the world is coming to what it is right now.
Yes.
Bec- and is very disappointing. I'm one of them ones. I don't watch the news because it's like now every time I turn on the TV, it's like you hearing somebody got killed, somebody by domestic violence, uh, boyfriend. And I seen one. I think I just had just opened up Facebook, and somebody was saying rest in peace to somebody. She went up to the school or something. The husband and the girlfriend was there, and then the husband turned around and shot the mama as she just went up there to pick up her kid. And I'm like, it's it doesn't domestic violence is not all that serious.
Mm.
It's not worth losing your life over a situation where, okay, if this is not working for me, let me walk away.
That part. And it's very hard to walk away.
Yes,
Very hard.
yes. So what conversation do you have with yourself when you know you love someone and they doing this to you? What conversation can you like kind of have with yourself?
Well, when it was happening to me, I asked why, because I
Mhm.
did everything. I was very a perfectionist,
Mhm.
OCD, cleaning the house, kept the kids in school,
Mhm.
was
Mhm.
like the perfect mother for our children. I was considered the perfect wife. I always had the house clean, food was on the table, lunch
Mhm.
was packed for him for work. So I just questioned and started like to look back at his upbringing, and believe it or not, I went real back and they're faith based. They were like,
Mhm.
nah, when they found out, they were like,
Mhm.
we can't believe it. So
Mhm.
I was looking at mental illness and it didn't run in the family, no
Mhm.
domestic whatsoever. Let me put it out there. The father married 8 times and they all got along, siblings and everything.
Wow.
So when someone asked me, did you think he had mental illness? I can honestly say, I don't know. But to do all that he did to me, you had to been like truly insane. Something was wrong with you.
Was he under
And
the influence
no,
or
just
anything?
alcohol. Alcohol
Wow.
after the 6 years. I would say alcohol. Now, under the
Wow.
influence, with alcohol, who knows if you hang out with friends? I would
Yeah.
never know. But to do all that stuff and, think it was all right. Listen, what got me
Mhm.
was the rape. That's what really hit me. And ironically, that you asked me that when I went to speak, get a load of this question. Someone asked me in the audience, how can your husband rape you? If it's not consensual, it's considered rape if you're
It
not
sure
doing
is. Mhm. It
That's how I
sure is.
responded. It sure is. If it's not consensual because he's your husband, that don't mean nothing. If it's not
Mhm.
consensual, you have every right to say no.
Mhm. And a lot of people to this day, I mean, and I know some families, I know some couples, they, trip about it and, they joke about it like, you trying to rape me. And then it's like, it's not rape when you marry. Ah, like you just
Mhm.
said, they take that word rape real serious around here. And then you can get raped both ways. You can get raped by your wife, or you can get raped by your husband. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, women get charged for rape too.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't know that women get charged for rape too. So
Absolutely.
yes, I see that people are commenting. Everybody is saying, hey, Miss Trinity. We have Miss Becky. She's saying amen. And then you have, like I said, Miss Trinity. She said, yeah, you don't look like what you've been through. And then she said, yeah, love doesn't hurt. And then they say you surely boots on the ground
Yeah.
for all. And then they said men suffer as well. So yes, so if you guys have any questions for her, feel free to go ahead and ask her questions. It will get answered here live on the air. Now, is there a number that they would reach out to if they should need help or anything like that?
Oh, absolutely. And on my platform, I'm very transparent.
Mhm.
They can call me at 973-979-4288. I always pick up. And if I don't because I work, and you leave me a message, within seconds, I'm responding. So
Okay,
everybody
and what was
knows the
that
type
number
of thing.
again? I'm gonna put it on the screen.
973
Hmm.
979 4288.
Okay. Too many numbers. Okay, so I'm gonna put that up. So if anyone knows anyone that needs help, they can call you. Now, what is next for Miss? No, before we get into that, I see that you are LPN. How long have you been doing that?
Ooh, long enough. Since 1990. Long time, but I love it. I work with the
Mhm,
seniors, with the ones that are already
mhm,
unfortunately cancer stricken, that choose
mhm.
care at home instead of in the hospital.
Okay. So you pretty much just work outside of the facility and everything like
Yeah.
that. Okay. Yeah. And I'm glad you did say that. How was that rekindle the relationship with your daughter?
Oh my God. Well, it took a while. It took a while. She
Mm-hmm.
started visiting me on Mother's Day. It was a little awkward, you know. It
Mm-hmm.
took a lot to build our relationship. We still trying to build it. There's not
Mm-hmm.
that, how would I say? Because I speak from the heart. Sometimes there's not that love. I adore her no matter what,
Mm-hmm.
even though we were
Yeah.
like, I call it missing in action for 3 years. There was never a day I thought about her, wanting to reach out to her. I tried
Mm-hmm.
counseling and stuff. It didn't work. She wasn't ready. So I gotta say, she gave me four beautiful grandbabies. I have another granddaughter, and we're trying, you know, because
Mm-hmm.
I meet her halfway, even though I'm the mom. Because people be like, "What you mean?" I'm like, I gotta meet her halfway because it
Yeah.
did affect her in some
Mm-hmm.
way. But to open up and speak about it, that's not her. I am more
Mm-hmm.
expressive, but I meet her halfway. I
Yeah.
don't push. I
Yeah.
just go with the flow and
Yeah.
leave it to God.
That's amazing. Because like you said, it is gonna take a lot of work. I'm one that when it comes to building relationships, um, especially with like a sibling or a child or something like that, it can be hard. Like you said, um, canceling didn't work. Sometimes it literally takes my own story when it comes to rebuilding a relationship. My sister was dealing something with our brother, and because she was dealing with something with our brother, she thought I felt the same way. So my sister didn't talk to me for like maybe 4 years. I kept reaching out to her, sending text message. I was texting my niece, "How's your mom? Why she not talking? Tell your mom to call me. Tell your mom to call me." One day out of the blue, I want to say it was Mother's Day as well. One day out of the blue, my sister called me. And when she called me, I started crying and she was like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, "Because I've been trying to reach you and it's been hard." And then she broke down and started crying and she wanted to apologize. And I'm like, "What are you apologizing for?" And she was saying that God had to deal with her with some things in order for her to come back around to me to say, "Hey, I'm sorry. You know, I shouldn't have took out what was going on over here and took that out on you because you had nothing to do with it." So sometimes that separation period, God does have to deal with people. It could take a little longer for some than it does other, but you eventually get to coming back. Like you said, the relationship is not how you would want it to be, but there is a relationship.
Yeah.
And
I
I think that what pretty much makes the difference, that there is some type of relationship, because the sad part about it, if it wasn't no relationship at all, you know, for something that wasn't understood. So yeah, so I am so glad that you guys do have some type of relationship and you guys are building that relationship. Now, if there are no questions, because I don't see any questions coming up, let us know what is next for you, Miss Francesca. What is next? I know you got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline.
yeah. Well, thanking the community and thanking um my sister that is up here, Latanya. I was struggling for 2 years writing my book
Hmm.
about my life, not only domestic, but you got to buy the book to read the rest of the other stuff that I
Hmm.
survived. And it was hard for me because I was like, okay, some people know about domestic, but they don't know about the other stuff. Am I okay with
Hmm.
that? So I struggled with it, but like I said, God embedded in me like you have to go a little further up. So this
Hmm.
year I did a self-care healing book. and that came out of the nowhere. And then every scar is a story untold is a memoir about my life from little traumas that happened to me along the way up
Mhm.
until what led domestic. Everybody knows I'm a two-time cancer survivor. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
See,
Last
and then nobody tell me that one, cause see, you would have been one of my recipients last year when I was there. Nobody told me that. Don't worry about it. I got you next year. I got you next year.
yeah. So God brought me out of it. I was actually diagnosed January the 5th, right after New
Mhm.
Year's, and that's when everything went to a halt. That was the
Okay.
book, that was everything, because I was like, okay, now I got to fight again. But by the grace of God, I took that as a sign like, you need to be still. You can't rush into
Mm.
everything, because I was planning, like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Like, I was like on a white horse
Mhm.
stallion. He was like, I need you to be still. So I learned a lot. This time I fought it 3 months. The first time was a year and 8 months, which was horrible. But this time it was shorter, less surgeries. But I learned to take everything one step at a time. Like, okay, you got to do
Yeah.
this, but one step at a time, because
Yeah.
as much as I planned, it was on a halt January the 5th when they said, you got it again. And I'm like, oh, but I got to do this, I got to do that. And God had the last word, like, you gonna learn from me now. So I'm in remission.
Yay.
March 22nd, I was cancer free. And I said, okay, now I'm gonna take it nice slow, because I fear you when you told me I gotta stay still. So I started working on the book. Now I got it published. This out. I'm doing the launching June the 13th. And that's to let people know that you do come out of different traumas, and know that there is a God. You know,
Yes.
there is a God. And my thing from the book, if I can say one woman through my testimony, listen, I'm fulfilled. I'm fulfilled
Yes.
completely. That's the only gratification I'm getting from the book. And the self-healing care book is for you to tap into whatever trauma, write them down. Nobody has to know. Just write it down. That's you in that book. Like, if I went through molested, I went through rape, I mean, if you
Mhm.
was a prostitute, drug addiction, it's something for you to pour your heart in there. No one has to know, so you can be
Mhm.
free. So that's my new project this year, that flourished by a group of
Okay.
ladies that were like, you can do it, you can do it. And I did it. Um, I cried when Amazon dropped it, and I saw that I became an author. And
Isn't that something?
I just went, you know what, God, I'm telling you, I don't care what anybody said. So that made me cry, because it was
Mhm.
another project. I executed it with a lot of tears, a lot of anger. Like,
Mhm.
what are you doing? Do you want people to read this?
Mhm.
And if I don't let everybody see what I went through, that is not just domestic, then I'm not speaking up. What am I afraid of?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I said, Lord, take the wheel. Here we go. This is who I am. So Um, I also partner up with three amazing women. The second podcast, Women of Faith, we
Mhm.
do that from a faith base. It's a comfort zone. We don't interview anyone
Mhm.
that's not prepared. And when they do, we stay in touch with them, because it's about them. To us, it's not
Right.
rating, it's about opening up. And we got to say that platform, these women are like doing it. They're on
Yeah.
other platforms being, interviewed. Some are book authors, and they're speaking up because they say, wow, you inspire us. And I said, wow, that's my gratification. That's my payback. So
Mhm.
that's another platform. And hopefully, I'm just looking to like tour all over city, state, just to keep talking, which I have been doing, just to let people know, speak up. We
Yeah.
don't have to be quiet. We can be saving not only our lives, somebody else's life, by just speaking up. And I just want
Mhm.
to go like global, like God,
Yeah.
be everywhere, be the pilot of that plane, the train, however,
Mhm.
but just do it. And I'm always grateful to him, because I look up and I'll be like, everything is possible with you, because I wear many hats. Whoever follows me, they'll be like, when do you rest? I said,
They say the same thing to me.
when? Well, if you love what you do, there's
Yeah.
energy comes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you right now, right here on the air. Next year, June is always the last weekend in June. Next year, June, get your plane ticket for Atlanta because you're going to be here, and I am going to be the first to announce she will be one of 2026 Survivor Award honorees. So make sure you get your ticket. So yes, ma'am, you will be here next year.
More than welcome to come. That's not a problem. I love to travel.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
And I love
ma'am.
meeting
Yes,
new
ma'am.
people too. I like networking and supporting, just talking and laying back. So that I'll
Hmm.
put it in my calendar. That is
Yes,
a
ma'am.
promise. I'm coming.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Because Latanya Davis was actually one of my recipients in New Jersey last year. So yeah, she was one of my recipients, and that's why I'm like, I was surprised she didn't say no. I'm gonna get you. I know you hear me, Tanya. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. But yeah, it is amazing, and just to see what you look like now versus from where you come from is truly amazing. I told y'all she has a story. I told y'all if she was amazing and she don't look like what she been through. So I am truly honored. I am truly honored. So I do know you say that you have your book launch on the 13th. Is there anything else that you would like people to know what's coming up, especially even down there in Patterson? What's coming up down there for you if you have anything coming up soon?
I have a women's conference that's coming up soon on the 23rd. I'm going to be with two powerhouse. One is coming from Texas, and I think
Mhm.
the other one's coming from North Carolina. Hopefully, a lot of women show up. I know I have one that's coming that's on here, Becky, and it's platforms that many women are speaking up of different type of domestic.
Okay.
Homelessness. There's
Yeah.
one that became homeless,
Mhm.
and now to be a book author and speaking worldwide on tour is amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. So I'm gonna be there. It's gonna be actually in Patterson on the 23rd.
Okay.
It's in Calvary Baptist Church. So I'm honored to be assisting there, and I was asked to speak and present my book. So I'm happy about that, and I like supporting anything that has to do with women, because that's
Mhm.
how we come together. If it's conference, if it's summits, I don't care if
Yeah.
it's a workshop. I always say you can learn from other women. You can
Yeah.
feed off of that and gravitate from that. So that's what I love doing.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And that's amazing. So she is going to send me the link to her book. So if you guys want to purchase her book, I will have that up on Inspiration 98.7 website, as well as Facebook page. So you guys will be able to get that. Where can they go to get your books? Because I did hear you say on Amazon. Can you give them the exact information for your books and the name?
Um, if they put Francisca Diaz, the both of the books are gonna pop up immediately. Both of the books
Okay.
on Amazon, they'll see it. One is a self-care journal,
Hmm.
domestic violence, and the other one is Every Scar is a story untold. It's gonna be right underneath it. It's not gonna be hard. I gave the link out today to many people, and they were like, "Oh my god, I can't wait to get it."
Hmm.
Um, I'm already preparing for June 13th, so I have some here, and I do ship out. So if you just text me and ask me, I'll tell you the price, and I do ship out myself. They just
Okay.
have to text me and call me, one of the
Okay.
two, and
Okay.
I will send you the link.
Okay, perfect. All right. So I truly do appreciate you being here on the show. As I told y'all, she is a true testament of what it is to be a survivor. See, she's one of my survivors. Oh God, she has an amazing story. I can't wait. Look, I can't wait till next year. And look, in this year's the retreat ain't even happened yet.
All I'm saying is I'm gonna drop that mic.
Yeah.
Keep fighting with me. I'll drop that mic that day. We'll have
Yes.
everybody jumping.
Yes. So I can't wait to next year. So I truly do appreciate you coming on and sharing your story with us. You guys, this will not be the last. Francesca will be on Inspiration 98.7. She has a home here with us, even though we're in Atlanta. She has a home here on Inspiration 98.7. She is family now. So whenever you want to come back, share anything, please don't hesitate to give me a call. I am here. I think you got my number and my email, and you have my Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you have all of my contact.
everywhere.
Yes. So for the people that will want to keep up with you before we go, what would be your socials so they can keep up with you, your your handles so they can find you on all platforms?
Well, my big strong platform is Facebook. There is link once you go and follow me, it'll link into my Instagram immediately when you follow me.
Mhm.
So it's Francisca Nunez, Facebook. So it'll link you to Instagram immediately.
Okay.
And
So
like I said, I
y'all,
already gave my phone number publicly, so I'm reachable there too.
that don't mean call her at 7 o'clock in the morning, and she might just be getting up for coffee, but that don't mean call her. That don't mean call her that early. If it's not urgent,
Urgency. Yeah.
it has to
Emergency,
be
yes.
urgency. Yes. So thank you so much, Francesca, for
You're
being
welcome.
on here. I truly appreciate you, and you are truly an amazing woman. If you had one thing that you can leave with everyone, what would that be?
You're not alone. You're not alone.
Mm,
I'm here, as many are here for you too. You're not alone. And speak up. People will listen because we are
mm,
bringing, domestic. I got a good team behind my back. We are bringing awareness to domestic, but never feel like you can't reach out. I'm one of the person that if you reach out to me, I will listen and I will help
mm.
you. But you're not alone. Remember
And
that
yeah,
you're not alone.
and y'all heard it here first. Thank you guys for tuning in to Inspire Talk. You guys can catch Inspire Talk every other Monday. Yeah, we're a new day, but we're still the same time. Every other Monday at 7 p.m. right here on Inspiration 98.7 YouTube, as well as Inspiration 98.7 radio station. Make sure y'all tune in. The link is at the bottom. Let me tell y'all something. Inspiration 98.7 Radio Network is one of the amazing platforms that you can go to. You can hear your favorite genre of music. It's a no judgment zone. I have several different shows that I came out this year. Maybe Miss Francesca come do a show or two on the network. But I have an amazing show. You guys, if you didn't catch it yesterday, our first show was Fueled by Power with Dr. D Screen. She was here yesterday. Amazing show. And then we still have our regulars, me, Inspire Talk. You got Queen Mo, got the tea is back. And you got Princess of Truck and Jams that's back on Friday. So make sure you guys tune in to Inspiration 98.7. Catch the link down there. Go listen to your favorite music or your favorite shows. Also, send us if you want to hear something. We don't have commercials, but we do have some because we do have people. We let people share like their commercial and get their product out there so if they want to share it. So we do that as well. But we don't have a lot of commercials, but we do have promos that go on there. But we truly appreciate you guys for making us number one again on internet platforms. So I truly appreciate that. So you guys make sure you tune in, stay in contact with us. Um, as y'all know, I'm Shonda Alicia, your girl, your home sister. I am here. And make sure you just come back and join us now. You hear? See you
Absolutely.
guys.
Absolutely.
See you guys soon. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye bye.
I'm going nowhere.